Good afternoon, students. Here I am, Mrs. Banerjee, and today I have decided to teach a lesson from your book Vistas, and I'm going to teach you The Tiger King by Kalki. But before I begin the lesson, you know that I would like to request you to like the video, to subscribe to the channel so that the moment I upload any video, you will be able to get benefits from it and to see the video till the end. Now, Kalki is actually the pseudonym of Ramaswamy Krishnamurti, an author who was born in Chennai. He is not only a short story writer, he is a critic, a journalist, and had even participated as an Indian independence activist. His stories are abound in wit, humor, and irony. The present story that we are going to read is actually a social satire. What is a satire? You're already familiar with the term satire. A satire is the use of subtle humor in order to show the drawbacks, the lacunas, or to criticize an idea or a person in particular. This story is a social satire. It is a satire on the conceit of those who are in power. People who are powerful, they feel that they can do whatever they like. And in due course, they even try to challenge nature and have to become the victims of the wrath of nature. Here also, we come across the Tiger King or the Maharaja of Pratibandhpuram, who thought that he could defy nature. And that is the reason why he kept on ruthlessly killing innocent animals, and thus he, in a way, disturbed the balance of nature. And finally, he had also had to become the victim of nature. Later on, ironically, a toy tiger took the life of this great king. At present, we can also see an example of the same. We are stuck in the pandemic of corona, a human activity which has resulted in such a disastrous it has such a disastrous effect on all of us. That is the reason why the author wants to tell us through this story that the more we try to challenge nature, the more we are going to be victims of the wrath of nature. And that is the reason why we should never try to do so. Kalki has written this story as a first person witness narrative. He seems to partake in the tale of the story itself. We find a close semblance with Masti Venkatesh Iyengar, whose story, The Ranga's Marriage, you had read in your previous standard. As the story begins, the author has ironically referred to the Tiger King as the Maharaja of Pratibandhpuram, who was also known as Jamidar General, Khiledar Major, Sata Vyagra Samhari, Vishwabhuvan Samrat, and there were so many other titles which were added to his name. Kalki then begins with the story. But before that, he says that his mind is all set in the story itself, and nobody can deviate him from that point. Even a Stuka bomber cannot deviate him from his path. All these are examples of humorous expressions that he has used throughout the story. He also informs us that if anybody would like to know more about Maharaja of Pratibandhpuram, they will have to read the author's mind or get to know about him through the author himself. Why? Because he is no longer alive. He has reached the final abode of all human beings. As he begins the story, he tells that the moment the prince of Pratibandhpuram was born, The astrologers had predicted that one day the prince will have to die. It was really a shock for everyone present in the court. But this infant, he seemed to be more intelligent than the rest of the courtiers and even the king himself. So this 10-day-old infant spoke, and he told the astrologer that everyone has to die someday or the other. So it would be wise enough for them to tell him the manner of his death. To hear the infant speak, everyone stood in stupefaction. Finally, the astrologer informed him that being born in the hour of the bull, as bull and tigers are enemies, that is the reason why the author would be killed by a tiger. And the 100 tiger would be the cause of its death. To this, the brave Tiger King replied, "Let tigers beware." This part also shows that people in those days had blind faith in astrology. Their lives were guided by the predictions made by the astrologers. Moreover, it also highlights the foolishness on the part of the king and the other courtiers as well. We are going to continue with the second part in my next video. Thank you and have a nice day.